Hi guys, it's EGC here. So today I'm here with another D set deck profile, and because we have entered the new set DCBT04, so I'm starting to cover those decks as well. I've been playtesting with two for now, which I'm going to show you one and probably show you another one later the week, and then I will test more and show you more. And this time I will be covering the Destined one of Scales. So this is a deck that when I first see the Vanguard, I'm kind of like not having a good feeling that it will be very strong. But then after playtesting it, using the deck itself, play around it, and I'm proving myself wrong. It is a very good deck, but the Divine skill unfortunately is not good enough. But it did help the deck and fits the deck, just that I wish it could be something better. So let's talk about his skill. First is a once per turn Vanguard Circle skill, so +2, just 3 of your regards and they get +5k until end of turn. And if you choose 2 or more regards with Overcharge ability, draw a card and this unit will get +10k until end of turn. Which when we are building this deck, we will be putting a lot of the Overcharge units, so it's basically a free +10k and draw a card every single turn, unless you don't have anything on the field for you to choose. And the Soul Blast 2 so far, based on what I played, is okay to at least last for like 3 turns, even without person riding. So so far this skill is kind of guarantee to survive for at least 3 turns. That's how I feel. And the plus power to overcharge units means you will activate the ability, which usually relates to more power up and makes your board very big. And the Define skill, if your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or higher, which means if you're going second, you can use it immediately. You counter +1, choose 2 of your regards and they get +5k at the end of turn. If your opponent's damage zone has 4 or less cards, choose 1 of your opponent's Vanguards and do 1 damage. And the power increase of the trigger effect revealed for this effect damage gets -10k. So instead of giving your opponent's minuses power, it turns normal triggers to 0, because it's usually it's a +10k, and then now you're also applying a -10k on it. It's not changing to -10k, so it's turning the +10k to 0 because you're -10k. So when I first see this skill, I'm like, at least make it a negative, or make it simple, just wipe the power off, because when you are facing an over trigger, it's still going to flip the table around because you're only -10k, then they're still getting 100 million. So this is why when I first see this skill, I'm kind of like meh on it. But then the damage chase plus the whole plus power to the board plus your overcharged units, it really makes the deck very stable and strong, except if they really hit a OT, which if that happens, unfortunately nothing you can do. And the rest of the right line is based on his own right line. So the grade 1, when the grade 2 run on top of it, you can call it out if you do Soul Charge 1, which it is a overcharge unit, and you can combo with another piece in the main deck to simply give you a draw and Soul Charge. And then when we're going to Gatling Canone Dragon, when the grade 3 run on top of it, you can look at top 3, just 1 grade 3 or less card among them, review it, add to your hand, and put the rest to the bottom of the deck. Don't shuffle your deck, put it to the bottom. And if you review a card with overcharge ability, you can Soul Charge 1. So that's how you constantly like sustain some sort of soul, and then through other Soul Charges cards, you will be having enough souls to keep like using his own skill to Soul Blast 2 to plus your units every turn. Right, going to the main deck, we need more souls, and person right, the power is very tempting, so we are running more Nothing much to say about that. And then I did actually run the Panzer Shrek Dragon. So this has Overcharge ability, so it's one of the Overcharge ability units. And when it attacks, if it is chosen by the ability of your Graveyard or higher Vanguard with the Faded Ones. This name, of course, not other Faded Ones. I just turn it to be easier to recognize. In its card name, then you get energy plus 3. You will get plus 15k until end of the battle. And then at the end of the battle, draw a card and retire this unit. So you can turn straight draw because it has no shield value. It's not a grade 2, it can't intercept. So you just make it strong, and then it do a big blast, and it blasts himself, and you draw a card. That's already good enough, especially before you use the divine skill. You just do big attacks because this will get plus 15k for himself, so it's a 28, and then plus another 5 because you select it. It's already a 33k base. Yeah, so it's hitting really hard. And for example, this will get plus 10k when this is selected. So if you have a line like this, then it's a plus 15, plus 15. That's already 30k. That's already 43, and then plus 8 is already 51, without any personal writing. So the power level as a beast stick is very strong in this deck, and you can see through a lot of different cards with Overcharge ability available here. Okay, and then next is also a direct support of the deck, which is a Dragrita Shao Hop. So during your turn, if you have 3 or more units with Overcharge ability, you will get plus 5k. So it's a simple 15k, and it can be available during your grade 2 turn, so it's good. Overcharge ability, Regal Circle once per turn. When your Vanguard attacks a grade 2 or higher unit, if this unit was chosen by the ability of your Gravy or higher Vanguard with Aelquilibra in its card name in this turn, energy blast 3, then this unit would get plus 10k at the end of the turn. So it only needs to attack a Gravy Vanguard, so means if you're going first, you can't use this part of the ability, but I guess that's fine because energy blast 3 is actually quite heavy, and if you do have 6 energy, you can stand 2 of them. And you can use them to attack first because it's reacts when your Vanguard attacks. So you can attack with 2 of these first, use your Vanguard attack energy plus 6 and stand both and get plus 10k. And because you will select with your Vanguard ability plus its own plus 5k, so the first swing will be a 20k base, and then Resanding as a 30k, right? What I usually do is I use them to attack with boost, which hits very big, and then Resand as a 30k. Depending on triggers, I might hit bigger. So making our opponents very hard to guard, at least that's how I feel that can actually apply the pressure. And then 3 of the Koga Flan. So I do think the Soul is okay for me to actually try this card. I was using Brachial Force, and I see a lot of build using Brachial Force, but through my playtesting, unfortunately, maybe because I haven't been playing against like Shoujo Doji or something like that, because I am the Dragon Empire player, so I don't actually get much chances to face those decks. So I don't feel Brachial Force is that important. But a lot of my friends are saying that it is important and they are actually using it. But I want to try something different, so I'm using this card, which we will be soul charging quite a lot. So even we can have a little bit of souls to spare for an extra card, and if I personally right, I can use the counterblast to pop stuff, which this deck have a lot of high attack power but doesn't pop stuff, so that's why I'm trying this card. But if you want to use Brachial Force, you can. It's a very good early rushing option, so definitely not something that you just simply drop, but I want to try something else, so here we are. And then another soul charging card, which is Fort and Refertis. So the soul charge is guaranteed, plus 5k is guaranteed. Then depending if you want to pause something, if you want to call something great from the soul that you soul charge, you have that option. Because sometimes if a board get wiped, you need to rebuild your board, and sometimes soul is a very good place to find something that you actually needed. So there we are. And then we are heading towards the great ones. So first, Drakita Farisa is well, if it boosts, and it is chosen by your Vanguard ability as an overcharge, and then you will get plus 10k at the end of battle. So it's a 23k boost basically, and at the end of the battle, if you have not counter charge this turn, you can retire this turn and counter charge 1, which we will have used quite a lot of counter blasts. So definitely something that is worth, and because it popped himself, that means we can use our order cards to bring it back. And another card that is going to use counter blast is Iadil. So when he's on place to reverse circle, if you have, including himself, 2 units with overcharge abilities, then you can counterblast 1 drawing card and soul charge 1. And your right line already secure you the second copy, so as long as you go into grade 2, you can just call this out as the right line skill, call this out, counterblast 1, draw 1 and soul charge 1. Very simple. And when you use your order, you're calling 2 overcharge ability units, so you can immediately use the counterblast to draw a secondary card as well, because that will turn into something probably valuable to you. So it's great. And he also get a overcharge ability that when chosen, then they will get plus 10k, so it's yet another 23k boost. So the deck is actually with high power attacker, high power booster, making the whole power line very, very, very strong, even with a person right. But your Vanguard's attack will probably usually be the weakest. And then I'm using one of the Gem Beasts as a little defense, because I soul blast a lot. As long as I remember to soul blast my grade 2 and grade 0 whenever I can, then I should be fine. And if my grade 1 get popped, I can use that as well. And then PGs, if you want to use the Blitz order, you can. As always, up to you. I just want to keep it simple, so I'm using the normal PGs. But if you are actually using this deck competitively, so I would suggest you to try using the Blitz order instead. And then we have our order card to equilibrize the scales of the world. So you play this by counterblasting 1, and of course you need to have the right Vanguard. Choose up to 2 grade 3 or less cards with different card names and with overcharge ability from drop and call them to regular circle. So for example, this will pop itself, so you can reuse it. This draws you cards, you can reuse it. This is a very good multiple attacker, so you can revive it. This is a strong attacker and can turn your draw, so you can revive that as well. So you have a lot of options, and usually these kind of cards saves you when your boards get wiped. So we can't tell how heavy our opponents is going to strike our units, or even like trying to use multiple attacks to force us to drop a lot of cards to guard. And this can, at least even when you use some overcharge units to guard, you can still bring them back, right? And as long as you can bring them back, then you start to overcharge them, then their abilities go off, and you can like return fire and make your opponents to drop a lot of stuff or take a lot of hits because you're hitting them so big. Right. Going to triggers. The Resand is just great, so far I'm still using this. And then sowing crit, because the soul usage is actually important. So usually I would tell people that I usually use the 15k shield to card, which I am still doing that. But in this deck, having more soul charging options is definitely important. You at least you have that option because you do need the soul blast to plus power to your overcharge units in order to use their overcharge ability. So very important. And then 3 more crits for 10k draws and just 4 normal heals. I don't think effect heals is important here. This deck draws quite a bit and it hits big, so I think you just need to kind of sustain the power level every single turn and then add a little bit extra defense like the Gem Beast here would be great. If you want to use, like, I think it's Farhat, the grade 2, I don't suggest that because you use energy on like this a lot, you use on this, so you don't actually have spare energy to do the extra draw. Yeah, I think that's probably what I need to tell. And again, through my testing, this deck really changes how I feel about the deck, because at first I'm thinking, okay, it hits big, but it doesn't do anything else. But then through the testing, it turns out the power level is actually big enough to threaten my opponents to basically drop their whole hand. It can happen, and like, because it's hitting so big, they actually sometimes do a lot of overguarding, and they might just need to let your Vanguard hit, and that's how you just strike in with more damages through the crits. And the Resanding is actually quite impressive, because like when we are playing a lot of multiple attacking decks, their attack power usually don't change, but now you can do like a 20 plus 23, so it's just like a 43k swing with your person right, and then Resanding as 30k. That causes a lot of cards from opponent, right? My only complaint is just that the Define skill could be better to just wipe triggers, but then if it really wipe trigger effects, then, well, it really does not give your opponents any way to get away, right? So yeah, I don't know, but I can see the reason why a lot of people actually using this deck to tournaments and actually winning games using this deck, because of how stable it is, the high attack power that doesn't require your opponents to be free, and then you already beat them so hard, and if you are actually going first, they will be in trouble, in pain. Yeah, so do give this deck a try. If you want to use the Brachio Force, feel free to use that in. I just trying to do something different, which should work as well. So see which one you like. Also let me know in the comments down below. Subscribe for more deck profiles, deck fights, unboxing videos. And that's it for today. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you guys in the next video. Signing off.